in response to what, in response as to what you have asked, Fredo, I cannot give you a straight up answer on what women are doing in their day to day lives in Europe. Um, I haven't been over in Europe for a very long time, and for any real length of time, meaning you're there for longer than about 2 months. That way, you can actually get a feel for an area, and you can get a sense. Well, it allows you to spend time and effectively listen to all the rantings and ravings of all the women in all the bars. And yes, you are right about the Irish. I will say one thing though. I emptied out every single beer machine in the Holiday Inn over in Dublin. On every floor. uh, that was a long time ago. Anyways, getting back to a little more about what you were referring to. Um, with the evil black men and bad boyfriends and wife here. Okay. Um, one, you left out a few countries in here. I never mind as to what all the chicks are doing in Spain. I mean, you left them completely out of this, or Greece for that matter. I haven't been there in a while, but they don't tend to change very quickly. Well, as far as some of this goes, I honestly think you have something against black guys because, well, I don't know. We all have our own lives. We all have our own experiences. What I can tell you, as far as the whole bad boys and the wife beaters and all that shit, your whole question: why do they go for all of this? And then once that they hit the wall, actually, most of the women, especially over in Eastern Europe, it's not so much as hitting the wall as in careening into the ground at Mach 30. They turn into bread roll trolls. Honestly, I think that's an insult to trolls. They have much less facial hair. All right. And as far as trying to go after a beta provider, I think we've seen this go. That I think we've seen this happen many times everywhere. This is not just Western culture, my friend. You see this a lot in China. I mean, seriously, China. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. I gotta. Yeah, something about Japanese women tend to be slightly taller. They actually Japanese women also tend to have bigger boobs than the chicks in China. They average an American C or D, which is a Japanese D or E. Just in case anyone was curious. Whereas China, trying to remember what they said. They gave it in centimeters. Effectively, it's what it is for all Americans. Is a you're gonna please don't throw anything. This is a 36A, and yeah, apparently double A is about the average in Korea. So yeah, if you're going for boobs, go to Japan. Seriously. Crap, I almost had the research group. They ended up doing a study. There was this one area of Japan. I don't think they specified which one, but you might be able to find it. But it had a huge concentration of 32 and 34 Ds and large full Cs. But there's this huge this concentration of just like two prefectures in Japan where the tit size was just beautiful. Hey, chicks, if you're watching, you can have a minimum legal length for a dick. We are allowed to go and admire any pair of titties on the fucking planet. So back the fuck off. As far as your thing, well, here in the States, from the way you're speaking, I'm assuming you are from England or UK, United Kingdom. Call it England, Wales. I'm assuming you're from in that general region, especially with your emphasis on the Scots and the Irish. And I don't think I read it, but it's almost like you, yeah, right there. Just to mention about they can't speak French. My guess is you would, yeah, you. I'm going to assume you are a citizen of the UK. Well, in order to explain part of this, I'm going to have to describe something that we see here in the States constantly. Effectively, what you are talking about, and it's not so much they're going for black men or anything. There are plenty of black MGTOWs, and they have more experience in this than any of us. Sorry, it's just the way it is. What it is that it's not so much the it's not so much as to the type of person that they're going for. Well, sometimes it's what they look like, but I doubt it has anything to do with the color of their skin. It's an attitude. They are drawn to an attitude. They are drawn to a persona. And generally, that persona involves them telling the chick to fuck off. I'll be honest. I have actually gotten a stalker because I told her to fuck off. That is how fragile their egos are. That if you tell them no, they come right out at you. Italians, I don't know. When you try to go across the board in Europe and try to talk about sexual harassment or any type of standards whatsoever, so I gotta assume that all this is being done by a bunch of feminazis, because they really can't accept the fact that each region has its own separate set of cultural norms, standards, and customs. Now, I do know a number of very, very fat, fugly, extremely liberal women. It's kind of funny how that always tends to happen, that the ugly ones the uglier a chick is, the more liberal she tends to be. Anyways. Lost my train of thought. Okay. They fail to acknowledge the fact that people act differently from one region to another. Like an Italian guy will just run up and grab a fat chick, or fat American chick's ass, and she will think that she's. I'm not kidding. If he wasn't Italian, if he wasn't if he wasn't just some guy in Italy, if he was an American, just Poindexter, whatever, I guarantee you, she would swing a purse to crush his skull. And as she's stomping on his throat, she will be calling the cops and claiming rape. All right, that is the type of woman she is. But she goes to Italy, and they surround her, they hoard her, and I mean they're grabbing her, they're groping her, and she's perfectly fine with it. Honestly, it has nothing to do with the men. It's just the women. This is, you, sir, are describing hypergamy. It has been discussed at length in the MGTOW circles. Effectively, she's going out and getting whatever the hell she wants and then sticking some other poor sap, which at this point I'm assuming was you, with the bill. You know what? It sucks. I've been there. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But that being said, you really need to get past that. You're not going to change her. You're not going to change them. And when I say them, I mean women in general. The only way to actually effectively fight back is telling them to fuck off. And when they chase you, and they will at length, because once you are unattainable to them, it like triggers this weird reaction in their brain, and I don't think it's conscious. I really don't. That you are automatically of higher status than she is because she is not worth your time. That is how these men act. This is how they behave. This is how they present themselves. This is the display that they are putting on for the world. And this attracts effectively hypergamous tramps, which is, in a sense, over 90% of women. It really is. You want to talk, people like to go and throw out this Walt. I like Sandman's idea of calling them the mythical unicorn. They really are. Just because you go and you find a chick that seems to understand certain parts of what it's like to be a guy, they don't. They never will. They can't. Just like you will never be able to understand what it's like to be a woman. Plain and simple, you can't. And these people who like to say, "Well, I'm just whatever in whatever else's body." That actually is a form of brain damage. All right, it really is. If you like, I can explain. We've actually advanced far enough we can actually chemically explain homosexuality as well. But I'm sure I'd get a whole bunch of hate mail if I actually posted any of the studies or reports, which you can find on Science Daily if you are so interested. There's also an article in Scientific America. I don't think I read about that one in Nature. I don't. I can check, but I really don't think I really don't think I saw it there. I also like to tell you something about Geneva City in Switzerland. There's a club there where these men go and congregate who deal drugs. Guess what? In every city, that's commonplace. Actually, it's probably less common in Switzerland than it is over here. I'm serious, dude. Here in Detroit, our former mayor flew cocaine into the city, like directly flew it, private planes, and he's still idolized amongst the community. Look up Coleman A. Young as far as mayor of Detroit. Oh yeah, he's still idolized. That's just how it goes. It really is. You seem to be really focused on the amount of melanin that someone has in their bloodstream or in their skin, or maybe that's just the way it came off. I'm going to assume it's the way it came off or some cultural thing, because it doesn't sound racist to me. It just sounds very specific. It sounds like it sounds to me as though you have someone very specific in mind. As far as the chick getting the apartment, dude, that's everywhere. There is no escaping that. There is no freedom from that. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could give you some better news, but it ain't gonna happen. It's sorry. But most of what you're talking about is basic hypergamy. But over here, what I was getting at was that what we have here is a culture of bigotry. For instance, a friend of mine, let's call her Kay. I've known her since she was about 6 years old. And, we had grown up together in the same church. And a little while ago, I had made a joke about her going out and finding just some random black guy to screw, because otherwise, if she doesn't, she would be a racist. And it turns out, me making that joke, that actually turned out not to be so much of a joke as it was effectively what was going on at the time, and from what I can tell, still is. A number of black men that I know actually find it annoying that there's actually this thing of these white girls specifically going out and trying to find a black guy to screw, because they have it in their head. I don't know how, but they have it in their head that that it's their way of making reparations for slavery, for something that they had nothing to go and do with. I mean, for instance, I know for a fact that her grandparents immigrated here after World War II. Her and her family had nothing to do with it, but society and the culture at large had convinced her that that was what she had to do to prove she wasn't racist, and to make reparations for something she and no member of her family had any part of. And from what I understand, this guy a couple weeks earlier had been going around bragging about how his parents had gone and immigrated from Zaire. Today, that is modern day Congo. So some of these guys are actually going around and preying on the fact that these chicks have this weird, fucked up concept of what they're supposed to and what their bodies are for, or even of their own identities. And it all seems to come from this left-wing psychobabble. And I'm assuming it's got to be something similar over in Europe, because women tend to be the same regardless of where they are or where they are from or the histories that they have. Like I said, only less than 1 out of 10 actually could possibly be considered a Nawalt, and that's only in specific circumstances, given very specific parameters. I really don't think they exist. I don't actually expect it out of my own daughters. I can hope, I can direct them towards math, science, and everything else, but genetics is a very powerful thing, man. You really can't beat that. It sucks. As far as what you should do about it, which is what I think you should be asking, spread the word. I'm serious. Spread the word. I'll be honest. I've actually gone out in the middle of the night a couple times at like 4 a.m. and have actually tagged a couple of overpasses with MGTOW, just for the hell of it. No one is gonna fucking look at someone over the age of 30 for going and tagging shit. Come on. Have some fun. Yeah, let's see. Well, French. Who gives a fuck about French? I'm serious. Do you realize English, a Germanic language, the actual way it is structured as far as I will be posting this. Actually, I want to look for it and try and post this in the comment section. So I can just shove this in every one of those Latin motherfuckers' faces. All right. The evolution of language. All right. You're gonna love this. English is effectively the epitome of language as it is, and to be honest, Cantonese is probably about at the very bottom. What's going on here is the way we go and structure our subject, our verb, our describers, our actions, subject, action, and verb. It turns out that current modern English, current modern English is the single most efficient form of communication as far as sentence structure that has ever existed. That also means that German is as well. English, as we know, is a Germanic language. It is the great bastard grandchild of German with some Latin modifications, with some French words thrown in because it became the language of the royals, and all those fucking queens can kiss my ass. Wow, where did that come from? Okay. What was that? What the fuck? Out of nowhere, I just have some chick squawking out of my speaker. What the fuck was that? Oh. You. You're a cunt. Funny. I give you that. That was funny. Now, kind of. As far as your thing about how women are behaving by going off with all these bad boys and everything else, just realize they're just going off after guys that it's not a genetic thing that they're searching out. It really isn't. It really isn't. They're not going around sniffing everybody. That plays a part in it, but that's not it. They're going for they're going for an image, something that they have in their mind. It really is that petty. I know you and just about every other man out there wants to have a reason for it, but they really are that petty. You can make an argument, and I have on a number of occasions, that their behavior is based on hormones and the relation of certain hormones. So if the levels of cortisol is just a little higher, or the amount of testosterone being released is just a little bit lower, or estrogen, whatever, that creates huge differences in the way their brains go and actually react to outward stimuli. It really is kind of, it's funny. Yes, to. Okay, cool. We have our first commenter. Oh, wait, please tell me that's not because of spam shit again. All right, Schrodinger's for now. I think it exists and not exists at the same time. Yes, but if only it was a vial of cyanide. If only. No, and they won't. They won't. They will not make those sacrifices. They almost always refuse, and I say almost always. I have seen on occasion where moms aunts, sisters, hell, even a couple strangers. Very, very rarely, very rarely. But they will actually go and put themselves at risk. However, they do this knowing, but they aren't doing this when it involves going and dealing with a inanimate object. They don't go and risk anything anytime it comes to, oh shit, that's a burning car. They only go and risk their physical being anytime it is a social issue. A woman will go and come into the rescue if it's in a social setting where they know they have the protection of society. I mean, if there's some guy getting beat on, some chick is more likely to try to jump in the middle with the expectation that neither man is going to continue the fight. It's bullshit. It really fucking is. But that is the only time I have ever seen a woman go and risk anything of herself. I have seen a woman go completely ape shit over a compact of makeup. You name it, go completely ape shit on anybody, and just wail on somebody. But when it comes to actually risking themselves against the laws of nature, like gravity, or fire is hot, or if you fall, you die. When it comes to stuff like that, they are nowhere to be found unless they are holding a camera and then commenting and bitching about how the men are going about trying to actually save someone else's life because, they're not doing it the right way. Status by proxy. Yes, you do. You do see that, but once again, that is not a risk. In both circumstances, very rarely is it ever a true risk. I almost have to assume, because they effectively have the same type of brains and neural networks that we do, that they almost have to assume, perhaps in the back of their head or whatever, that if I do this, I'm not risking life or limb. I'm not risking all they will really risk is social status. They won't risk anything of any true value. Let's see. Yeah, this started as a response to a viewer, and you want me to explain why women will go and screw a guy over and go and jump on 20 cock carousels on a weekend and go and stick some other poor sap with the bill. Dude, you go to China, you go to Japan, you go to Australia, it's the same everywhere, man. You go to Kenya, it's the same. You go to Belize. It really doesn't matter. I wish I could say that there was a safe haven country or region, but there isn't. A lot of the ones where people like to say are safe havens are nothing more than traditional marriage, which is nothing more than slavery. For you or her, it doesn't matter. I'm against it. Period. It isn't worth it for anyone, either party. Reload. Here we go. I edited that after you started reading. My bad. I've only seen it kind of so not. Yeah, no kidding. You're just not going to find it. You really aren't. Actually, you know what? I need to clarify. I can actually recall a couple cases where that's the case. You could call it. It's for their own. You could say it's for their own benefit, but I believe that preserving one's own life is in the interest of. Well, yeah, it's in your best interest. It really is. That would be the women in fighting over in Kobani, over in Syria. They're actually taking responsibility for themselves, and they're taking up arms. Oh yeah, it isn't like over here. Oh my god, I saw a video over on YouTube somewhere. It should be easy enough. It's on YouTube. This chick was going and fighting with everyone over in Kobani and bitching about all the American women going and wanting all this special treatment. It was funnier and shit. Then one chick had like, we don't get special treatment, and then someone had pointed out that women get an extra 10 points on the ASFAB just for going and marking F under sex. Apparently, she didn't like that. But no, it's very rare. It really is. I really don't know what I can talk about as far as hypergamy. It's pretty much a dead horse at this point. You type in the word hypergamy, and you end up getting like 20,000 hits on YouTube and like 20 million on Google. It's a dead horse at this point. Stop beating it. We understand they're cunts. That's why we are here. We understand that they will go and rape us for every coin, every flake of skin that they think that they can profit from. They will rip from our body if they have the chance. We just can't give them the chance. They want to go and act in a way because society says it's okay, when what society means is about 30% of the population. They don't really care what they're doing. They refuse to understand anything about history. So I've actually heard a chick go and effectively shame her boyfriend for trying to explain something that had happened a long time ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. Lewis and Clark, yeah. And this dumb ass blonde just butts in. Who gives a shit about that? I'm not kidding. Explorers is things that men actually care about, things that we do, things that we feel, that we yearn for, adventure. We do that. They don't give a fuck. All they care about is what Kim Kardashian is wearing today. No, fuck them. I mean, really, you have billboards up in India with a Cameron Diaz. All right. The whole argument. Well, you're trying to set a false image of women. That's bad for society. Really, false image. You want a false image of what a woman is? You go in and just like walk around Walmart and look around. You will see the false image of what a woman is supposed to be. All right. Nobody, women or men, no one is supposed to be a fucking parasite. You shouldn't be forced to be a parasite. You shouldn't be forced into being a provider. Yeah, you understand? Oh yeah, and that wonderful was it that five in the 5 minute gain on the run? Oh yeah, man, you can walk it in a span that they have to go and run it. Oh, never mind that flexed arm hang bullshit. Oh, fuck them. Sorry. I didn't even get past the first sentence. Fuck. Uh, no shit. It has no idea about the it. Oh no, dude. Oh no. Oh no. You are not derailing anything. See, I got my first experience as far as Army regs when I was going to school. I didn't go to a public school. I went to Howe Military School in Howe, Indiana, 5 miles south of Sturgis, Michigan, on Highway 9, inside of LaGrange County. Oh yeah, I had a psycho jarhead go and drill me. Oh that was. I'll say one thing, and sorry, I know you're Army, but in my senior year, the school had brought in a couple of drill sergeants and to go and PT all of the newbies. I ran your a drill sergeant till he passed out. Sorry. I have to assume he had been out for a while. He didn't look like he was in the best of shape. But no, as far as the rant, oh hell no. You want to see something else? Google has no idea. Open up another tab. I want you to go and look this up, and Google will not help you. Actually, half the time it will try to go and stop you. Go on Google, type in how to turn a republic into a monarchy. Try it. It was written in 1792. I did a 3-part series on it. I left a link to the actual article that you're probably going to find at constitution.org. It's usually the first one up top. But but for anyone who hasn't tried it, Google will try and put how to turn a Republican into a Democrat, how to turn a republic into into a communist country, how to turn a republic into a democracy. Oh yeah, it'll give you anything it can but that article until you press enter. Tell me that ain't fucked up. And I know as Army, you're gonna like the new cover for the Corps. I know you're gonna like that. In case you haven't seen it, every Marine now has to wear the female Marine cover. Oh yeah. They're not happy. Not at all. Oh. I know it's kind of at the core of understanding women, but it's the core of our awakening to the understanding of women. I want to move past that. I want to move past because there are other things at play. Like for instance, Maple. Ugh. Um, oh, for instance, that what had happened in the 1850s in England, the Great Market Crash in London, when their stock market just tanked, right? All of a sudden, all those wonderful independent women that were coming over here to the States and spreading all that shit over here in the States in the early 1800s, all of a sudden, they disappeared and they all became perfect Victorian angels. No, we know what they're going to do after MGTOW. They know what we know what they are going to have to do if the shit hits the fucking fan. And believe me, it will. Oh, come on. Our defense budget is less than our fucking Medicaid budget. Never and never mind Medicare. I mean, hell, you all. Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that. Oh my god. Oh. No, seriously. Instead of the nice, big, wide, can't. Oh no, it's not. It shrunk and lifted. Oh my god. It's like their cover was put in a pair of heels. Sorry, it kind of bothers me. Sorry, the EGA is not supposed to be a purse accessory. No. I'm never gonna forgive the fucking libs for all this fucking bullshit. Oh no, see, what what gets me right now is what's going on in the Air Force. I have two cousins actively serving right now. The older one, he ended up serving in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. He has an interesting ribbon that under normal circumstances he shouldn't have. Then the other one is Ordnance. Oh yeah. I get to hear about some cool toys, but I also go and get to hear all the bitching too. Oh yeah. Oh come on! You have any idea as to how many guys have been gone and passed up for a fucking woman just for the simple fact that she has a cooch? I mean, come on! The Navy just had to go and fucking and retire a fucking whack job who took a destroyer, tried to go and drag race the fucking thing, and almost rammed into a fucking cruiser. Are you fucking kidding me? And only now is it an issue, as it's the third fucking case of this with this damn twat. Wow, sorry. I really end up going on these fucking rants just out of nowhere. As far as protecting ourselves, well, that's easy, man. You get over to a medical cannabis state, ideally Michigan. I honestly explained it in the video that was posted yesterday. It started off as a video and ended up just going as a live thing and Q&A. But yeah, you can do it easily. The basement. Actually, as far as becoming a contagion, I'll be honest, I would love it if everybody who considered themselves MGTOW opened up a an email address over at uh, uh, crap. What was that one? I just opened up a throwaway email to open up a YouTube account. Just throw some image up and make their own voice heard. You have any idea as to what kind of impact that it would have to even have half of the MGTOWs in the U.S. going? I mean, come on. Well, less than half the country is male. So let's put it what? About 153 million. At least half of them, so 76 million men have been fucked over royally and are effectively done with fucking women. To some extent. Actually, no, let's go and knock that down. Let's go and knock that down. Let's go and call that, let's knock that down in half. Let's call that 35 million. No, 37.5 million. Once, even half, because half of the men who get divorced the first time are not going back for seconds. It's just not happening. So 35 million. If by chance 35 million men all posted a MGTOW video at once on YouTube, trust me, everyone would fucking take notice, and that would actually just draw even more people in. It really would. And that's just in the States. Never mind fucking Norway. Dude, they are being invaded with all this shit from Sweden. For a live chat box, it should be up in the Google Hangouts. I have this group chat thing sitting right in the corner over here. You can actually see it on the screen. It just went dim because I switched over. No one's commenting over here, so I'm sitting in YouTube and having to go and reload this thing every like 5 seconds. If you want, it should be open. It should be open join. You should be able to like go and click on it and like join in on the Google Hangouts if you have a Google Plus account. I don't know if you do or not. But yeah, that's actually how I'm getting on here. The computer I had like royally took a dump, and right now I'm using effectively my landlord's computer. And no, she is not a Nawalt. She is a opportunist. She knows what I can do. She saw an opportunity to go and like capitalize on that. It's a business arrangement. And we've known each other for years, so it just helps, makes it easier. Oh, several, dude. Once you get passed up twice, dude, you're pretty well boned. Oh man. Oh my god, I am hoping you're talking in like an office environment. Oh, I really am. Oh, maybe like logistics. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't trust a woman to do that. I really wouldn't. And it's not because I think that they are incompetent. It's not, like I said, it's not because I think they're incompetent. It's simply because, no, in a way you could say it's that, but wow. They like to use their gender to their advantage too often. In a way, you could call that incompetence, because if you don't actually know your job or what you're supposed to do, or effectively, if you're the boss, you're supposed to know every aspect of every job of everybody underneath you. If you don't know that, you should not be in that position. It should not be there. Your boot should be up that. You listen to the video, fairly descriptive, huh? Oh yeah. If I was like in Texas and I made that video, oh my god, I actually could be taken to jail. But as it is, I'm in Michigan and I have my card, so fuck it. I don't see a chat. Son of a bitch. Motherfucker. All right, I want to type in a message. Maybe that'll help. Hello? Please tell me something fucking popped up. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, dude, if this is going to be some fucking Google bullshit where oh my god, maybe you got to play it in oh my god. Dude. Motherfucker. Well, you know what? That's not too bad. It really isn't. Unless you get bored very, very easily. If you do, then that's just hell, dude. Oh hell no, that's just hell. Ugh. Talk about sitting around with your fucking hand, with your fucking pud in your hand. Damn it! You know, honestly, I'll be honest. I'd rather have almost like an open forum thing where people can actually like join in. But as far as when I had the audio on the Google Plus thing, there was a 2-minute lag on that, and a 2-minute lag on YouTube. I don't know if it's me or what, but it just seems to me that's one hell of a shitty way to try and have an online forum. We should all be able to make our fucking voices heard and just be able to scream to the fucking heavens. And no, I find it interesting though that a number of these other outlets don't seem to have that problem. But if it's like MGTOW based, there seems to be an issue. Yeah, I've seen as to what it's supposed to be from a couple of videos of Girl Writes What. But, dude, it should not be this much of a pain in the ass. Anyways, back to the rant. Yeah, it's starting to well up again. I gotta get it out. No, anytime you have a psycho cunt who's trying to go and ram destroyers into actually military times. That's where I found the article. All right. Dude, I'm not kidding. It's destroyer racing. Holly Graff, that's her fucking name. That dumb cunt. Dude. Yeah, I want to send this fucking. I want to post this a Google search over on YouTube, man. I try to, anyways. I'll comment share my. Oh, motherfucker, that's right. And okay, this is gonna have to go in a comment section, but it's gonna have to be a re, reply to somebody. Motherfucker, I am stuttering like, oh my god. All right, reply. Here it is. Holly Graff. This bitch would, oh my god. She needs to be fucking busted down to a fucking E1 and dropped right then and there. All right. Well, as far as a pretend game, I don't really think they're playing a pretend game. I honestly think that anytime it comes to women, there's like a short circuit in there. And it's like they just can't comprehend that women aren't innocent. It's like it's been drum, just slammed into everyone's head for so fucking long. Hell, tonight, an episode of Z Nation. There's a bunch of fucking feminist twats going and running this compound. Check it out. Just the imagery should go and like piss you the fuck off. But you'll see as to what I mean there. It's not a very noticeable mention, but this is what I think is what I mean, like social brainwashing. There's this one moment where in the background you don't see anyone say this, but you just hear it. You don't hit a woman. You hit a woman, you deserve to die. It's literally like in the background and shit. That I would call like subliminal. Now there is a joke from the Simpsons. Bart and his buddies went and started a boy band. And this was a while back, and it was all about joining the Navy. Yeah, the Navy using little boys to. So many jokes, so little time. Anyways, they had Lisa goes and confronts this guy, and he we have subliminal, and then there is superbliminal, and she's like, well, what is that? And so he opens a window and he screams at this guy, join the Navy! And the guy just on the street figures, well, I'm going to join the Navy. Ever since I saw that episode, I've actually been kind of paying attention to advertising. And then after taking the red pill, more and more of it just clicked. You have to see everything as a form of propaganda. It really is. And it's sad. It shouldn't be that way. It's not supposed to be that way, but it is. All right. Anyone see any messages pop up? I'm not seeing any responses. Motherfucker. Maybe there's a Q&A button. This feature is disabled. Why the fuck is this feature disabled? Why? Really? What? Maybe I have to do that before even starting? I have it, yeah, back to the chat box, but there's no one or nothing in here. Motherfucker. This pisses me off. See, one of the one of the biggest issues I think we have is that anytime it comes to women, scientific knowledge and exploration be damned. It's not allowed. It can't be allowed. And I can't wrap my I can't get I don't understand it. If we go and discover something as we did a little while ago, that the man flu, or right, everyone likes to go and joke, well, men act sick and all this shit. Yeah. Well, as it turns out, and I can actually say this, that it is because our immune system is actually weaker than the immune system of women. And it needs to be that. It needs to be like that because they carry the offspring. Their immune system needs to be more robust. For men, we don't need that. So we can expend our energy on our immune system after we are attacked. Then we respond and we go and we kick it out. But because it's not elevated at the very beginning, as a result of that, we actually have it longer. So the whole like man flu thing is real. They just can't accept it for some reason. I don't understand why. But we go and discover that, and all of a sudden, no, how dare you say that? Well, why? You're saying men are weaker. Well, yeah, but in this case, it's giving them an excuse to not go to work to give us more money. Then they have a problem with the whole thing of that. It really is schizophrenic. Anytime anything is decided, we just go ape shit. We can't function properly. I actually have a theory on this to some extent. It's not fully formed. But I think we almost have to, or we have that because we all have mothers. What I mean by that is that as we're children, infants, we are always looking up to our mothers, effectively, physically. And as a result, that leaves a imprint on the child. It doesn't always leave a imprint on the mother, sadly enough. They tend to be more violent than anybody else. But as far as children, we always look towards our mothers as a source of comfort. And I think that's kind of where it starts. If we were to have a generation of people that were raised immediately from birth, that they never see their mothers and they're only with their fathers, we would see the same thing, just in reverse, because it's a imprinting of oxytocin, which is effectively is the hormone that effectively controls and dictates our social behaviors. And how we act is dependent on the amount of other hormones in our bloodstream. For example, if you have oxytocin and a shit ton of fucking cortisol in your bloodstream, you're panicking. You're going to remember this. PTSD is guaranteed. It effectively is. Now, if you have a huge amount of oxytocin, a little bit of cortisol, and a huge amount of testosterone, you're ready for a fucking fight. If you have oxytocin, heightened levels of estrogen, you become more emotional. Oxytocin really is that glue hormone that effectively controls how we are, that controls our emotional responses and the imprinting of personalities in our own psyche. Yeah, I know that sounded really long-winded. Sorry about that. uh, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna get past the whole thing of our brains farting anytime, or of society's brains farting anytime anything involves women. I just don't think that's ever going to change. What can change is the way society itself is presented to all of us. For instance, you can hear on country song after country song. Last night I mocked "I Want to Be a Good Man." Yeah, that fucking shit. All right, let me see. How about don't take the girl. That's an old classic. Tim McGraw. We're going back to the 90s. This isn't even new. Here, take my grandpa's watch, which was probably if your grandpa has been able to hand down that watch. I don't know your family history. Now, if your grandpa was an immigrant, that could be the only thing he had left from his father, and could have been the last thing his father ever gave him as he was getting on the boat. And that was handed down. That means nothing. I can understand here. Don't go and take a human life. I can understand that. But when everything goes and revolves around someone else, you don't have your own identity. You are just, in the words of Gomez Adams, you are Mr. Debbie, as he was screaming at his brother Fester in Adam's Family Values. He ceased to become himself and effectively just became an extension of her. And at the stage we're at, society is nothing more than just an extension of the female psyche. I really think it can be traced back to the advent of the department stores and what we consider modern advertising practices. That alone, just because it's the advertising that goes and drives their emotional desires, because they're also they will always side with each other, but they're also always in competition with each other. For men, most of the time, we are just always in competition with each other. With MGTOW, it gives us a way to retain our social masculinity while actually taking each other's sides and collectively telling all of these walking cesspools, go take a flying fuck. We don't want you. I mean, right now, the CDC even had to go and come out that as a result of just asking the fact that people have been lying not about their weight but by their height. The obesity rate here in the States just skyrocketed within the last 48 hours. I am not fucking kidding. And it was mostly females. Females almost always gauged their height 3 inches taller than what they were. Males gauged their height on average 1 inch taller than what they were. So we know where all the added weight is coming from. I mean, seriously. So yeah, 75% of all the added weight is coming from the women. And the obesity rate just went from like 35% to like 68% overnight. Now, if we take out all the women that are of healthy weight, and then, dude, the average single man, his options, 72% of what his options are the size of fucking wildebeests and about as fucking furry. I mean, dear God, 72 fucking percent at the very fucking least. Who wants to do that? Seriously, how many people want to go and do that? You go and see, I'm not shitting, go onto Cafe Mom and look up men like fat women. I am not fucking kidding you. These fucking fat ass fucking women are so obsessed with their own fucking jelly rolls and back titties that they think that they are sexy all because they are the only fucking option left. That does not mean men like you. That means men are getting fucking shit-faced, popping a fucking Viagra, and dealing with it just to blow a fucking load. They don't like you. And that's why we see all these fat, fugly-ass chicks going bitch about all these evil men that just want to have sex with them. One, I can't imagine many men that actually would want to. And two, what happens? Have you actually talked to them afterwards? No, they're an asshole. Well, duh, bitch, you were a warm, wet hole. Nothing more. But that's not fair. But it's okay if you go out and just pick up a random guy at a bar? Wait a minute. Let me ask you, where exactly did you find this guy? At the bar last night? Oh, really? And you want a bitch? I have actually had those conversations with those answers. Ugh. Who can stomach that shit? Who wants to put up with that shit? And they wonder why guys are just saying, you know, I'm not interested. I think I'll go and play paintball. Oh, you're playing paintball. In the back of their head, ooh, that's manly, that's violent. That means they can take pain. They are a utility. I can hit and beat and take out all the frustration I want on them, and he can't do a damn thing to me. That's all they're fucking hearing. No, half of these country songs that go and talk about women, it's all about being a fucking tool. I mean, come on. Whiskey Lullaby. I mean, you should know this. Just at it, for instance, what was it? 85% of female Air Force personnel that was deployed to Afghanistan within 3 months, they were knocked up and back stateside. Oh yeah, isn't that a nifty little trick to get the fuck out of getting shot at? Oh yeah, no. Mandatory implant birth control. It's in there for 3 fucking years. If you want to go and re-up, you get a new one. Sorry, I really do get on. I do have some issues when it comes to certain things. I really do. And these, these rotten crotch twats just want to get away with everything. And we see this. They want to say it's all different aspects of female nature. No, it's all, and I mean all, a form of hypergamy. I'm not kidding. Look at it. If a chick goes and tries to go and flirt with some guy to go and get her computer fix that works. They go and do that. I saw this show called Extreme Cheapskates. You know, this is how easy and how valuable the fucking pussy pass really fucking is. All right, this is hypergamy. This bitch, as a cheap ass, decided that she wants to go and fly to fucking LA. So instead of going and buying a ticket or doing anything anyone else is expected to do, she puts on a tight ass pair of jeans and walks onto a small airstrip and flirts with a couple guys in order to get a free flight to LA. And then on the way out over there, she starts like pressuring him and teasing him and flirting with him to go and con him out of another flight back from LA. Pussy pass airfare? Are you fucking kidding me? And they want to go and bitch about being oppressed and having... Oh, fuck you, bitch. You pay full price. No dick for you. You dirty ass blonde. I seriously, who wants to go and fuck with any of these twats anyways? Hell, you go and you pick one up at the bar. They spread their fucking legs. It looks like they got buttercream frosting oozing out. Ugh. Dude, they're even sick fuckers. There are fucking pussy beggars that are up to the point that had no problem going and eating all that shit out just to make her happy. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with these? You can't even call them men. They're just walking Y fucking chromosomes. They have been castrated and beat and just berated throughout their entire lives to just sit there and take it. Otherwise, you're not a real man. And I know we've all bitched about all of this before. And especially redunculous. And we all like all of the feminazis, right? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, sorry, dude. I love it, man. No, everything they do, look at it through the perspective of how are they going to benefit? How could they benefit? And you'll see every time it always applies. It's never just to help somebody out. Like in my case, I have a roof and food, not only as a result of helping her out in the past, but because I have something of value to offer, my knowledge and skill. She understands as to what that means and what it could be worth. That has value, therefore I have value, therefore I am now worth sheltering him during this fucking frigid ass fucking winter. But this is what people like us have to do in some cases in order to fucking survive. And it's fucking bullshit. We need places to go. The problem that I keep running into as I'm running this in a simulation in my head. How do we keep the government trolls out, for one? But more importantly, how do we keep the fuckwad assholes out? Because there are guys that will go and claim to be MGTOW and claim everything that has happened to all of us. But in all reality, they're just looking for a place to go and hide out after committing a triple homicide. How do we do that? Well, I have an idea on that one, but I have conflicting feelings on it. I have a solution for it, but by going and doing that, you're stripping a person away of all of their privacy. But I'm thinking that might be necessary at least up front initially, just so we know we're not getting any psychopaths. It's gonna constitute with polygraphs. Yes, I know they can be thrown off. fMRIs, and no, they can't be, along with other active brain scans. The whole point is we don't want nut jobs. We want to be able to go and know that we are safe and secure, and as to where we're at. And the only way I can think of doing that is using brain scans. fMRIs, dude, no one can beat that. You just can't. You can't fuck with the brain chemistry. The brain works the way the brain works. But no, we can go in and do that. We really can. Any more comments? Come on, please. Yeah, I have this thing on YouTube, right here. It says, "Be part of the conversation." Click here to join the audience for this. Join the audience, huh? Damn it! That's supposed to be like join in on. Motherfucker. As far as I pray, I'd venture to say that if we were to be allowed to go and study every one of the like 300 different hormones and effectively chemical packets in the human body, and compare that with real time, not survey, not shrink guided. Once again, this would involve the sacrifice of all privacy rights. I really don't like that idea. But we could figure out every inch of female nature by constant measurement of hormone levels, brain waves, and a whole series of cameras to observe. We could do it. The problem we go and run into is we probably shouldn't do it, especially not like that. That causes more problems than it will ever solve. I am definitely open to many other ideas. I really, really, truly am. And you want to rant? Let me see. Let me go and check the news. You know, CNN should be fairly fun. Oh, wait a minute. China is building a fucking island to go and build an airstrip, or to build an airstrip on in the South China Sea. Wow. You know, good job. Yeah. Good job. You know, we haven't seen this type of aggression since the Soviet Union went into Afghanistan. Oh, wait a minute. We did the same fucking thing, motherfucker. Wait a minute. That's right. Bush Jr. is a fucking progressive douchebag, just like Obama. But he's a Republican progressive. Okay, the only fucking difference is he's going there in a Pinto, and Obama is strapping a solid rocket booster to our ass. We're still going in the same fucking direction. See, I think a lot of people are underestimating the vets in this country. I really do, especially the fucking wise. They definitely are. And any of the extra vets, oh, fuck yeah. See, extra vets aren't going to take shit from fucking anybody. We had to go and take all the fucking shit from all the goddamn boomers in the late 80s and 90s. I mean, goddamn. For us, our idea of a weekend movie was Rambo and Iron Eagle. Our anthem was, and I am proud of this, that my son too will scream this from the hilltops. Twisted Sister, we're not gonna take it, while at the same time understanding what it means. That was our anthem. That was us. And now you want us to go from we're going to tell you to fuck off and throw you out of a goddamn window and laugh at you on the way down because you are a tight fuckwad who can't get his head out of his ass even though he's got a broom shoved up there about as far as the broom in Al Gore's ass. I mean, everyone also goes and seems to fucking forget it was Tipper Gore and Al Gore with the fucking PMRC that the whole as to where they started being able to go and censor fucking public speech. Fuck them. You know, the reason as to why we have all these fucking amendments in our Constitution, and we are not allowed to take them out, but we are allowed to go and repeal them, is so that we know what we did and how we fucked up and what we shouldn't do again. All right. Now, what I also find funny is they also apparently some people like to think that if it's an amendment, it can never be changed. So once again, I have to ask. So we're still in the era of prohibition, right? Well, no, we can drink. Well, then it can be changed, you dumbass. I mean, I am not a Republican. Not by any means. I don't like them. Because all of these douchebags today, none of them go by the original fucking charter. They cannot call themselves a fucking Republican and have it be true. And since the entire party is made up with all these fuckwads, I am not a member of the Republican Party. Oh, fuck them. Ooh, traditionalist. Hey, you mean slavery. Fuck you. No. I'm not kidding. You can actually see it. Back in the 60s, 70s, there was I'm trying to remember who the fuck. I think it was Barbara Walters doing an interview to this feminist and her Republican counterpart. And they were talking about the women's rights, equal rights, and then it was the Republican woman, not the feminist, who came out and said that, well, no, we have to go and be careful to make sure that all the women keep all of their privileges, as in not being able to be drafted. Was that a Democrat woman at the time? No, that was a Republican woman at the time. Because she realized that without those privileges, she was in danger. Her daughters were in danger. All of the privileges that they would have in the home and in society would also at that moment go poof and disappear. They realized that then. So no, it's not a Democrat or Republican. I hate them that much. I can't eat. My brain won't allow it to come out of my mouth. And the worst part is, my family was among the families in Jackson, Michigan at the time to go and found the Republican Party as a descendant of Christopher Plunkett, as well as Abraham Lincoln. I am his fifth cousin. By blood, no, I'm adopted. Don't even bother asking. Do I really care? No. I never knew him. Don't care. I know what he did. That is the first motherfucker. I have to admit that it was my cousin, the first motherfucker to ever sign an executive order. The first domino to go and fall down to allow the motherfucker in chief we have right fucking now to go and do all the bullshit he's doing. No, that is a legacy I have to look at. Fuck that shit. And we already know it. This motherfucker is going to do whatever he can to go and promote the war on women and the war on the environment and the war on coal. The only war he isn't interested in is the war that's actually being fucking declared on us. I mean, motherfucker, what was it? Last month, we caught 10 motherfuckers from fucking Iran crossing our southern border, and we let them go. Motherfucker. Is Obama interested in granting a whole bunch of criminals amnesty? Yes. Is he interested in letting legal immigrants over here stay? No. They must go because they're going to a Christian college. You don't see them going and kicking out students that are sitting over here at the little Muslim U at Muslim U over in Dearborn. You don't see that. No, it's very selective. They only go and do this to people that they know aren't going to fight back. They're fucking worthless cowards. They play towards people's emotions, and then they give these dumb fucking twats a inflated sense of fucking entitlement that allows them to go and justify beating the living fuck out of their kids, and then having all the blame from society be directed right at us and shoved right up our fucking asses. God damn. By Jupiter's cock, can we get a fucking clue here? Let's just accept that perhaps when it came to marriage, in the interest of marriage, that perhaps the fucking Jews had it right. In the interest of freedom for the individual, I'm going to say it's going to have to start with us. It really is. So far, we have been the only people to ever stand up and shout, fuck you, I am my own person, you are your own person. I am not responsible for you. You are responsible for you. I am responsible for me. That is how it works. However, I also believe that it was Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson? That a free society can only exist amongst a moral or what? A just and moral people. And Edmund Burke, that the extent of man's liberties should be in direct proportion to the chains he is willing to put onto his own desires. Effectively meaning with freedom comes responsibility, which and since no female can ever be responsible for her actions, freedom is a bad fucking word. Oh no, he said freedom. We must perform a blood eagle. Hey, seriously, the mentality of these women. There was speaking of this mindset. I don't know if you've ever gone on YouTube and looked up this whole thing of women paying palimony. All right, you'll typically only get about 5 real different responses, and it's always about the same videos. However, if you go and do a search on what they mockingly call manimony, because even a man who effectively gave up college, gave up a career, did everything that a woman did in order to get palimony, apparently, if the roles are reversed, he needs to be mocked. And now it is a social problem that needs to be overseen and taken care of by Big Daddy government, because it's oppression for someone to have to pay for somebody else's existence. Oh, really? You don't say. Yeah, it's they just can't get it through their fucking heads that if they want to be able to go and do all this shit, they have to accept it on the back end. I saw a meme that was funnier than fucking hell. All these women in a slut walk going to marching. I can wear what I want. What I dress as does not mean yes, and all this other bullshit. Empowered women. Right? All declaring that as to what somebody wears has nothing to do with who they are, their personality, their mindset, their lifestyle, or anything else about them. Yet, for the man who landed a spacecraft onto a comet, the most important thing is his shirt. What the fuck Twilight Zone did I fucking fall into? What the fuck? We can go and have a feminist speaker go up and wear a shirt, a tie, a pantsuit, or whatever that is showing a disemboweled man being hung. But oh, if there's a woman on a bikini on a shirt, no. The fucked up part is he was given that shirt by a woman who asked him to wear it. But they can't get over the shirt. They can get over everything else that they fucking do, but they can't get over this guy's shirt. Designed for a patriarchy, it doesn't exist. Actually, I'd be willing to say that the patriarchy that they keep trying to scream and rail against hasn't existed since long before that was put into law. Because what they are trying to go and scream and rail against is the result of the backlash of another stage of feminism. With the backlash that came in the 1870s, they lost all forms of birth control became illegal. They became illegal because, well, troopers were coming home to find their wives going and fucking some fucking dude with a little bit of lambskin on his dick. All right, those types of condoms have been made for centuries, dude. It's nothing new. I mean, they also used intestines. Literally, it was like sausage wrapping. They use that. The type of patriarchy they're referring to didn't actually exist, like even in like the 1700s. Well, at least on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, it didn't really exist. It didn't exist until after 1870. They lost parental rights. They lost property rights. Why? Because they were stealing the property from the men. They lost effectively everything as a result of all their greedy ass power grabs. So a lot of what they're talking about, the patriarchy and stuff, is literally holdovers and echoes from that overreaction on the men's part. It was an overreaction, and that essentially set the stage for more and more bitching, which then set the stage for the temperance movement, which was once again a feminist movement. And our overreaction in the 1870s sent us on this present course. We have to accept that. It wasn't our personal actions, just like the actions of women today is not the actions of the women in 1815 or 1915. Sorry. but we have to learn as to where it all came from, how things built on top of one another. We've pretty much explored and have figured out that females are inherently different. No shit. Chemically speaking, they are different. But we also know, as a result of this research, we know how to control them, and us, in a sense, through AR, augmented reality, along with social pressures and perceived social norms. We have to get away from where we're at right now with this whole praising the courtesan of Venice type thing that we have going on here right now. We have to get past this, and it's not going to be good. It really isn't. But no, that type of patriarchy hasn't exactly existed since after World War One. The 1820s, it was gone. It was gone. What they keep referring to as far as the 50s, that was an echo. It was kind of reverberation, almost like a bounce back, because what happened was that in the 20s, the patriarchy thing was gone. In late 20s, early 30s, all the way up until 47, actually. The economy was so bad, women had to rely on men for so much, they couldn't get by. And then after the war, women were chasing after men, and the whole goal was to trap a man so you could have someone to take care of you. The baby boom that followed actually bailed a lot of women out of a bad spot. You had a lot of Mrs. Jeffersons going and roaming the streets, and trolling the supermarkets, and a whole bunch of teenage boys who had no problem trolling the supermarkets in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s for some loose older pussy. I guess at the time it was a rite of passage. I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 50s. I do know a lot about social policies from back then, though. But see, you also in the black community, the reaction from the Great Depression was huge. Throughout the 20s, actually, as a result of jazz and as a result of cannabis, men of all races, all colors, were coming together in all of the jazz clubs, in the speakeasies, and smoking weed and conversing. That is actually why the original the marijuana stamp tax was put in there, because they didn't want people conversing. They didn't want everybody realizing they were all getting fucked over and that they were all effectively the same. They wanted to keep people separate. They needed to create an enemy in order the easiest example to try and put it, they used Anslinger like the Ebola czar. That's effectively what they did. They just did it with a plant, and now they're doing it with a virus. Either way, they're still going to expand government and still try and control you, me, and anybody, or actually any other living being, organism, single-celled existence. They really don't care. They just want to control everything. Yeah, that patriarchy's gone. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Oh, excuse me. I gotta turn off the heat. This is getting way too fucking hot. 1 second. Oh. Oh. I don't know what is up with. Anyways, in the black people in this country, they had it worse than just about anyone else. The marijuana law was specifically it was made to specifically go and separate you from everybody else. And then see the U.S. military was never actually segregated until World War I. It was actually, and you can go and look this up. It was Woodrow Wilson that first had gone and segregated the military, and FDR had kept it that way up through up through he died, and Truman kept it that way. It wasn't until Eisenhower came in was the armed forces segregated. Almost as a result of that, that's just a little side note. But as a result of how hard the black community was hit as a result of the Depression, you honestly shot back almost to the 1870s as far as inside of the household, which for a while was a great thing. It actually was. At the time, blacks had much better marriages than whites. There were less cases of alcoholism and domestic abuse. It actually wasn't until after the entire Great Society thing that y'all really started getting fucked over. As soon as that happened, the handouts came out. Then after that came out, and as we all know, it was the women. Once that happened, the black men got screwed over. They were kicked out of the neighborhoods, and then everything was left up to the women. And I see it every day in Detroit. But the patriarchy they keep screaming about, it hasn't really existed. There have been a couple echoes of it, but that's been about it. It really is. I think the last bastion of that type of patriarchal culture you're going to find is going to be in the Mexican areas. But even then, you really can't say that because their women are allowed to go and dress in, well, I'm sure we all know how they dress. And yet you will see the biggest, baddest beaner on the block be turned into a little bitch and be dragged by his ear by a 5'2", 93-pound twat. That's power. That is power. So you really can't say that type of patriarchy exists even there. And you see this in South America. You see this in Africa. You see this in Russia. Oh my God, did you see this in Russia? You go and you piss off a chick over there, you're having a lamp thrown at you. Germany, they might just stab you. Switzerland, they will sue you. In Britain, they will scream and throw a temper tantrum. But then again, when the Brit chick screams and throws a temper tantrum, it usually involves a lot of jumping around, and that involves a lot of British titties bouncing. Landlord's back. But yeah, you got those things just don't really exist much anymore. It almost be worth it if they did, because it would be something that it'd be something legitimate. But you could hope. I saw part of it actually after I was already doing mine yesterday by accident. Uh, okay, send me a message. Maybe we can work something out. Uh, Dimitri, by the way, and Johnson. Crap! I did that. Don't tell me that one went. Yeah, birth control. White men weren't having babies. John decided to pay black and have children. Well, you have to have a stock number to go and borrow against. Don't. I mean, that's all we are our birth certificates. If you look on the bottom of it, it will say mother or informant. Effectively, she is informed because you are coming from your mother's water. You fall under what is called admiralty law. And your birth certificate, a certificate, by definition is documentation of ownership. So your birth certificate means somebody owns you. The number in the top right hand corner of it is your stock number. That is actually what the government borrows against when they go and borrow money. They are borrowing against your stock number. That's why you are a company. That's why anything that you get from the state or a bank, since only companies are able to borrow or use banking facilities by law. That's why everything from the state or a bank, your name is all capital letters. Everything else, it's only the first letter that is capitalized. So you are a company and they are borrowing against your future tax revenue. So they are effectively selling you to the bank and me and everybody else. It's now illegal to not have a birth certificate. So anything they can do to go and gain control. And you have to have stock numbers to go and borrow against, right? So if you don't have stocks, you can't borrow. So somebody has to be going and popping them out. Same thing now with the beaners. You can't. They are now as to where the blacks were a couple decades ago. They're effectively being told, bring more people in, have as many children as possible because we need to borrow against you. We need to sell your labor. So yeah, that I don't know if you knew that was a reason why that they needed to have more children, but that's basically it. They needed something to borrow against. And once again, that was all started by Lincoln. In order to fund the Civil War, he had to go and promise the banks all of the property of the South, which included slaves. And then the banks went and sold it to the railroads, which created Jesse James and all the other outlaws. But yeah, when everything with the Civil War had come through, the banks actually owned the entire south of the country. And from there, it graduated, and they kept trying to push for a national bank, which then created the Federal Reserve. Commented. Yes, it did. It was dead in the 1700s. You are correct. You are dead on correct. Agricultural age construct. I don't know. I think it depends on the era, but in that sense, yes, you are right. In another sense, it's kind of necessary for us as a hunter-gatherer species. Once we became more sedentary, what happened was that we started to set up villages, And what would happen is that then the men would go and leave the village after we stopped being nomadic. We would go and leave the village, which would leave the women in charge. So what actually happens is that we went from a semi-fairly egalitarian nomadic species to a semi-sedentary matriarchal species, because the men actually had less to do with the village. It is effectively similar to the man dance, which had kept it up, which they actually had some really interesting ways as far as child rearing that I am very certain that Stefan Molyneux would like very, very much. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But except what we find is that in all those societies, it's matriarchal by nature. As nomads, the Jews were patriarchal, and except in the land of Goshen when they were there, and known as the Hyksos, they had male emissaries from the Egyptian government. But as far as their household, as far as we know, is from archaeology, the women ruled the roost. The same can be seen in Greece, Rome. In the cities, it was more egalitarian, especially in in the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, or Carthaginian. In the cities, it was fairly egalitarian. They all pretty much did whatever they wanted. Debauchery was effectively the name of the game. Dionysus was praised very, very often. Yeah. But it depends on the time frame. It depends on what just happened. You can't say it's only agricultural societies are patriarchal by nature, when the vast majority of them throughout history have been matriarchal in nature. You say, well, yeah, all the sides were ruled by men. Well, yeah, but not really. We see the control that women exert within the household, and that will, in the end, affect what happens in society. We even see that in the Bible, in the story of Esther, where she moves the hand of the Persian emperor. So effectively, she can control the empire by influencing as to what happens within the home. Whatever happens within the home becomes what happens in society, or at least that has been the case throughout history so far. Or that's my take on it, anyways. The child support, I think, is actually something different. The child support is, I think, a result of the 1960s. There was some need of it in the early 1900s, but in the 1960s, as more of these women just decided to go and take off and do their own thing, they realized they didn't have the skills to go out and do that. So originally, it was supposed to become part of something. Well, okay, it's gonna be a holdover. But then people figured out, well, if I just never do that, there is no holdover. I just always get this, and I get this, and I get this, and it's all good. So it started off as a concept, and it became the bane of modern existence. Anything new? Like, is there any comments? Like, anything? It's just really aggravating that this isn't working the way I think it should be working. But I don't know. I'm not an IT guy. No, I don't know. I learn what I can. Stabilizing a population, I don't know. No, to finish out the second part. Um, if you have a healthy society, you're not going to have to worry about having a stable pop population. I think one of the concerns that they had at the time, actually thinking about it now, they could have been encouraged. They could have been trying to go and lower the birth rate, because a lot of this stuff came out as towards the end of the baby boomer era, and everyone was worried about drowning in a sea of humanity. So by going and promoting single parent households, it creates a scenario where it's more difficult to go and raise children, which creates frustration. Then the children go and see that as they're growing up, which also makes them less likely to grow up and get married. But what that also means is that they also don't grow up and want to have a large family, because they don't want to be their moms and have 5, 6 kids. They would rather deal with 1 or 2. And then those kids, that what happens is that they tend to go, well, I don't want to deal with that. If I'm going to deal with any, I'm only going to deal with 1. And then it's like, you know what, screw that, I'm not having any. I'll be honest, I've never actually thought of it in that sense before. I wonder if it plays out. Could feminism in a way be a mind fuck to help to try and decrease human populations? Huh. That would, I don't know. I don't know if anyone would have actually ever been able to have figured that out beforehand. If they could, they'd have to be one hell of a mathematician. That'd be the only way to try and work out anything like that. I'm gonna get going. I don't know where you're at, but it's 2:00 here. I didn't get off the air until 3 last night, so I need to get at least some sleep tonight. I try to get on I guess since I'm doing these things now, I'm going to try to get on around 11 o'clock most nights. So if you see this, hear this, around 11, I'll be on. Thank you. And, bye.